Hare Krishna, World Racer, Sabina and Roger here. Let's read Chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
And we're going to start a new version by Stephen Mitchell. And I just checked, and it says that this is dedicated in honor of Sri Ramana Maharshi.
Oh, no way.
Beautiful, hey?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
And
Cool.
in the back, the Yoga Journal wrote, the appearance of Stephen Mitchell's Bhagavad Gita is a joyous and historically significant event.
Ooh, what?
Sounds promising.
No, I can't wait. Okay, but before we start with wisdom and realization, we must prepare our minds for such deep and profound subjects that are about to be revealed by Lord Krishna. So set an intention that we seek to know and understand and comprehend these profound teachings. Please bless our minds, bless our hearts, our souls, our spirits, our very selves, the core of our existence, to be able to know such truth.
Beautiful. And then we remember where we are. Since 3 weeks on a massive battlefield. Krishna and Arjuna in the middle.
And Arjuna surrendered, seeking the very knowledge that we are seeking now.
Oh yeah.
The blessed Lord said, "Listen, Arjuna, I will tell you how you can know me beyond doubt. By practicing non-attachment and surrendering yourself to me, I will teach you the essence of this wisdom and its realization. When you come to master this, there is nothing further that needs to be known. Of 10,000 men, perhaps one man strives for perfection. Of 10,000 who strive, perhaps one man knows me in truth. Earth, fire, water, and wind, air, mind, and understanding, and the eye sense, these are the 8 aspects of my physical nature. This is my lower nature, but beyond this I have another, higher nature, the life that sustains all beings in the world. Know that it is the womb from which all beings arise. The universe is born within me, and within me will be destroyed. There is nothing more fundamental than I, Arjuna. All worlds, all beings are strung upon me like pearls on a single thread. I am the taste in water, the light in the moon and the sun, the sacred syllable Om in the Vedas, the sound in air. I am the fragrance in the earth, the manliness in men, the brilliance in fire, the life in the living, and the abstinence in ascetics. I am the primal seed within all beings, Arjuna. The wisdom of those who know the splendor of the high and mighty. I am the strength of the strong man who is free of desire and attachment. I am desire itself, when desire is consistent with duty. All states of being, whether marked by sattva or rajas or tamas, proceed from me. They are in me, not I in them.
Let's pause, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
First of all, thank you so much, Stephen Mitchell, for this poetry.
Yeah.
So beautifully written. Right away I got emotional. right away.
So he's teaching the essence of wisdom, and the realization when it comes to master this. So knowing this stuff, if you seek to grasp and comprehend like this chapter, he's basically saying that once you know this, there's nothing more that needs to be known because it is the highest thing to know.
Wow.
And then he dives right into, boom, here I am the ultimate reality. I am the source of absolutely everything in existence. This is when he's saying that. And he's speaking from that point of view. So if you can understand that, then it puts a whole spin onto, like being a Krishna devotee. And even if you don't need to be a Hare Krishna, you don't need to be a dualist. You can be a non-dualist and still believe in Krishna because there's no limitation, right? Because it's just beyond everything. It's beyond, all concepts. So it's beyond existence and non-existence. It's beyond duality and non-duality. It's just ultimate. So whatever the ultimate is, that's where what he's speaking from, right? So when he says, and also of the 10,000 men who do strive for perfection, maybe one, attains the supreme. It's really rare, right? And I have, so one of my very first teachers, Dr. David R. Hawkins, he also said that it's so incredibly rare to be seeking, liberation and enlightenment. So if you're one of the few that are really driven to that, then it's not even of your own doing in a way. It's very favorable karma, and in a way you've been blessed, right? So you continue, right? We have to follow our passion, follow our bliss, right? And
follow the bliss.
Follow
the Brahmic bliss.
Brahmic bliss, yeah. So then he's talking about his lower nature, right? So everything, he's speaking of everything that manifests in physicality, right? So that's my lower nature, right?
Yeah, so the elements then.
Of course, the elements, and even mind and understanding. So that's, even ego, right, is part of his lower nature. The I sense, right?
Sense of I.
Sense of I is 8 aspects, one of the 8 aspects of his physical nature, right? And then he's going to talk about his higher nature, right? Right.
So does that mean like each being's sense of I?
Yeah. It stems from him, right? So you got the infinite field of consciousness, and then we all have an aspect of that consciousness, but it's dependent on the greater consciousness, right? So our very sense of self is dependent on the higher self. Yeah. It's ultimate reality. And everything within conventional reality is dependent upon the one ultimate reality.
So then everything is fine. Everything is good.
Well, yeah, we're already all a part of it. Because most men are deluded by the states of being, they cannot recognize me, who am above these, supreme, eternal. But those men who turn to me can penetrate beyond this wondrous power of mine, this magic created by the 3 gunas. Others are deluded by my power. They do not attempt to find me, and in their ignorance sink into demonic evil. There are 4 kinds of virtuous men who worship me, Arjun. The man in distress, the man who seeks power, the man who seeks wisdom, and the sage. Of these 4, the sage is the most praiseworthy, unattached, steadfast. That man is supremely beloved by me, as I am by him. All these are noble-minded, but the sage is my very self, calm, untroubled. He dwells in the ultimate goal, in me. At the end of his many lives, the sage unites with me, thinking Krishna is all that is. Great souls like this are rare. Men whose wisdom is darkened by desires, men who are hemmed in by the limits of their own natures, take refuge in other gods. But whatever the form of reverence, whatever God a sincere devotee chooses to worship, I grant him an unswerving faith. Empowered by his faith, that man earnestly seeks the God's favor and obtains the things he desires, because I myself have ordained it. So he's basically saying that he's also the source of all attainments, spiritual attainments, whatever they may be. So even, and that's why I really enjoyed Buddhism, and I love Buddhism and the teachings of the Buddha, but I went in with the understanding of the Gita already, right? So I thought it was great. So I was thinking, even when I'm meditating and I'm focusing on the Buddha, and if I'm making any progress, it's still because of Krishna, right? Because he's the source of all of that, right? All of our attainments, and just by his grace, and then that it transcends religions instantly, because it's saying that even a Muslim who genuinely, worships Allah and is devoted, and has his ego in check and isn't, swayed by, some of the other things going on within the religions, but is just seeking the ultimate, in the form of Allah, and practicing, doing the prostrations and the prayers that they have to do and just really devoted, they're going to advance spiritually. And it's the same for a Christian in their religion and whatever tradition it is, right? For a Taoist who practices Taoism earnestly, right? It's still, it's still applicable and it's still valid and it's still on the path, and Krishna has ordained it. But fleeting is the reward that men of small minds are given. They will go to the gods they worship, but my worshippers come to me. Though I am unmanifest, fools think that I have a form, unaware of my higher existence, which is permanent and supreme. Veiled in my mystery and power, I am not perceived by most men. Their deluded minds cannot see me, the unborn, the changeless, the undying. I know all beings who have passed and all who live now, Arjuna, and all who are yet to be, but I am beyond all knowing. All beings are born to ignorance, ruled by aversion and craving. This, Arjuna, is the primal duality that keeps them bound. Right? So this is, I think, a little bit of a controversial part of the Gita, because we have many, dualists that study the Gita, also, and they're of the version that Krishna's form is the supreme, right? So that everything comes from his form. But in this version of the Gita, so this is a non-dual version of the Gita, obviously, and he's saying that his highest form is his highest version of himself is beyond form, right? So he's saying, though I am unmanifest, fools think that I have a form, right? Unaware of my higher existence, which is permanent and supreme, the beyond all form, right? But anyways, we've already solved that problem, because it can be both, right? He can have a form, and then from his form arises the non-dual, universe, creation, and everything in it, but also the other way applies as well, right?
Yeah, and in that sense, the Gita is beyond duality and non-duality?
It's beyond,
like you said?
Yeah, it's beyond, yeah.
Okay, wow. I didn't know that. I read it in comments and then went to Roger. I was like, Roger, what's this? Beautiful. So when he says, but I am beyond all knowing, that means from the ego's perspective, you can't know God. So the ego can't know God.
Yeah, you got to transcend your ego to know God, but then you're not really, there's no one there to really know God, because you're merging into God and you're kind of being one with God, right? Yeah. And also, it's beyond all knowing, because when you transcend the ego, there's nothing to know, right? You are that, right? So non-duality, it's like the knowing and the knower and the known, is one. It's all happening now. It's like Krishna and God and existence and the present, the now, the moment, and consciousness. It's all here right now, right? So we can be, awestruck by that we're in the creation right now, and it's just one gigantic miracle. It's like a big manifestation. It's like, how is this possible? And now we're beginning to understand how creation works, right? Yeah. But when a man is released from dualities, he can act purely without attachment and can serve me with all his heart. Those who take refuge in me, striving for release from old age and death, know absolute freedom and the self and the nature of action. Those who know me and the nature of beings, of gods, and of worship are always with me in spirit, even at the hour of their death. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So to have your mind fixed and focused, on the absolute, on Krishna, as form, or he's saying specifically also that, non-form is okay, right? The Brahma, or the Brahman, like ultimate, the infinite field of consciousness itself, right? If you focus your mind on the ultimate, you're going to go to the ultimate, however you perceive the ultimate to be, because so that's what happened to me. Like when I surrendered, many, many years ago, I made a declaration that, I don't know anything about anything, right? And I'm like, what is going on in my mind? I'm contemplating some horrible things. I'm like, I need to surrender, right? So I did it. I surrendered. And I said, if there was a truth, an ultimate truth knowable by human beings, then I intended to know it. And then everything shifted. It's because I made a surrender to the ultimate, to the truth. What is the truth, right? And if you do that, you're gonna go there. You're gonna be led. You're gonna be guided. Of the spirits and the angelic beings and the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, and all divine holy beings, are still within the infinite field of consciousness. They're all part of Krishna. They're all part of the divine play. The gurus and the sages and the enlightened teachers and all the holy beings that have ever existed, right? They're going to help you, right? They want us to evolve spiritually, right? Yeah. We're all one big family, right? They all love us and care about us, and especially, Krishna, right? And he's saying directly that anyone who thinks about me, I'm thinking about them. At the same time, if you think about me, that's me thinking about me through you at the same time, right? It's like, so we're almost designed to evolve spiritual and be led and guided, home, right? So those who focus on Krishna go to his abode, right? Yeah, so talking and, about all beings being born to ignorance. So we know this, we're suffering. Like if we were already enlightened, we wouldn't be born into this realm. So we're coming in with some past karma, some delusions, an ego thinking mind that is dualistic in nature. It sees itself as separate from everything. And then it's craving, it's self-grasping and self-cherishing, and I want this and I want that. And it's greedy, and then it doesn't get what it wants, and then it suffers, right? And then that's the primal duality, and it keeps us bound, right? And that's how it was. If it wasn't for that, then this would be an enlightened realm already. But that's not the purpose of this realm. This purpose is being fulfilled.
So duality equals delusion, right?
Yeah.
And a deluded mind cannot see me. The unborn, the changeless, the undying. These words remind me of the Buddhist teachings too.
Oh, totally.
So, beautiful.
The truth is the truth, and there's many teachers of the truth, right? Yeah, and he's also saying those who take refuge in me, striving for release from old age and death, know absolute freedom, right? Because he's saying that, like, that's the greatest refuge, is because you're taking refuge onto the ultimate. You're surrendering onto your true source, right? And and that if you own that as your source, then you can't be abandoned because it's yours. It belongs to you. He's saying that I am your source. Take refuge in me and you'll be safe, right? And he's saying those who know me in the nature of beings are always with me in spirit, even at their hour of death. Wow, that was fantastic. So thank you so much for joining us with this wonderful chapter. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Have you surrendered onto Krishna yet? Are you prepared for the time of death? Are you enjoying these teachings? Let us know, and remember to hit the like button. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. And we look forward to seeing you on chapter number 8. So remember, the most important thing is to raise yourself.
And raise the world. Thank you so much, everyone. And a very special thank you to all our members. We love you. Now, peace.
Peace.